Yeah, hi. Yeah, today I'm going to create a simple application. The following the MVVM design pattern. Yeah, MVVM is stand for the view model and the view model. The model represents the data of the application, and it can be a struct or a class. And the model, it should not depend on the view and the view model. The view is responsible for displaying the data and handling the user interactions. So normally the view is the user, what he can see, that is the view, and it should not contain any like a business logic or the data manipulation. The view should only interact with the view model. And uh, the view model, it acts as a bridge between the view and the model, and it's responsible for the exposing the data and the commands to the view. And the view model knows the model layer, but that doesn't know the view layer. Yeah, this is a small like a overview of the view, the MVVM, the design pattern. Yeah, for this application I'm using this API. This is the free API. I'm going to use this one. This is the URL, and this is the expected response uh, which I get from this URL. So yeah, let's create the new project. It's an iOS and the app. The next, so I'm going to name it as the project, the product kit, the demo app, and interface, which SwiftUI, and it includes the test. So actually, I'm going to uh, create the unit test for this application. I'm saving in some files. Yeah, let's wait for the preview. Till that, I can structure the project, a new group, the app. Just moving this the default the demo app into this. The content view. Let's create a new folder with the naming as the futures, or it can be like a pages or like a screens, and one folder for the resources. Then as for the networking, non-network network manager, or you can give a name as a API. Anything will work. Just I'm keeping the network manager, and I'm just ordering it alphabetical order. Okay. Yeah. So here, uh, just I'm grabbing this JSON file. So the JSON, and just creating a new file. So now the product, the pasting it, just rename from the .swift to the JSON. So this is our like a JSON file, expected JSON. So from that URL, okay. Inside the futures content view, let me move the content view inside the future folder. And inside the futures, let me create a new group with the name like a products. Inside the products, we have view, model, and the view model. So let me view this inside the view. Yeah, and quickly let me refactor, rename it as a rename. So it's not working. Yeah, product list view. Okay, uh, the model. Let's go from the model. So inside the resource, so this is our model. This is our model. Mm, New file, product model. So here, just I'm creating the new struct with the name product model, and here we have the ID, the name, and we have the data. This is the dictionary. So I'm creating another struct with the name, the data, and here color and the capacity. I'm keeping this as a optional because for some product there is not the data actually, and for this data also we have the different the keys is there. So I'm just taking the few of it and keeping those as an option. This is also optional. So yeah, yeah, this is the model. And yeah, this is the view, and just quickly let me create the view model for it. The product view model class product view model. So yeah, for the products we have the view model and the view model. Okay, so yeah, so here for the product, let me take the navigation stack. Yeah, inside the navigation stack, I will take the list view. Inside the list view, so we will uh, just show the list of the products. So the further we need to get the list. Okay, so we get the list from the server. So we need to create some the network manager class. So I'm creating the new file, the naming it as a network manager. So, so we have the class name network manager. So I'm taking this class as a singleton. So it will create only the one, the shared instance throughout the application. Static let shared equal to network manager. I'm making it as a private init. So, so no, from other places we cannot create the instance of the for this class, and I'm making this class as a final. So this cannot be like a subclass. So creating the new function. So this function responsible is to, it will get the URL like a request, and it will fetch the data from the server, and it will return the data. Absolute string. It will get the URL string, and then so let's create the request. So I'm using the URL session. So yeah, first URL session dot share dot, we have the data task with completion. So for this I need the URL request. So I have the string. So from the string we need to create the URL request. Dot let URL equal to, so here I am creating the URL. So from the URL we can create the URL request. Let request equal to URL. So let pass the URL request to here, and so it will return the data, response, and the error. They all are optional. So data, response, error, and we need to resume the task, the data task. So, so it is a URL session data task. So we need to resume it. Yeah. Then it will execute the request. Yeah. So here we need to check the error. Do we have any error? So if error is equal to nil, means there is some error is there. Just I am returning from here. So here uh, now we don't have any error. So then let's check for status code. Got let response equal to response as HTTP URL response. Yeah. Then we have the status code is there from the response dot the status code. So if the status code is fall between 200 to 300, then it's a valid or the valid response. If not, So we didn't got some proper response. So here just we are returning it. Then God let data equal to data. Sorry, else return. So now there is no error, and we got the proper the status code, and we have the data. So then we need to return the proper the model for this URL. So we need to know the actually means so this product we need to return this product. So we are calling the URL, and here we get the list of the products. So let decoder equal to JSON decoder dot decode. So here we are getting the array list, like a list of products. So we return array of product models dot self the type and the data. Let response model. The JSON decoder requires that product model conform to the decodable. So let's go to the product model and conforms to the decodable, and for the data also we need to conform to the decodable. Done. Yeah, error is gone. So now we got the response, and we need to return that response. Yeah. So here completion handler escaping. So we are using the result type. So it has the two. One is the success and the failure. For the success, we return the list of product model. If there is any error, we will return the error. Okay. So now let's create the error scenarios, error cases, error messages are like. So here I'm creating the new enum for the, let's name it as a network error. So it will extend for from the error, because here we need to return the error. So now we can use this one, network error. So now for the first, if there is if the URL is invalid, so here we need to return like a invalid URL. So the case invalid URL. So from here we can return completion handler dot network error dot invalid error. If there is error, we are returning the invalid error. And the next, if we have some error is there, this error is come from the URL session, the system error. So for that error, custom error, it's an associate type, and here we can some error. So from here we are returning completion handler dot fail networking error dot custom error. So if we get any the status code, the different status code, yeah, I'm force unwrapping here because I'm sure that it has the error. So it will not create any issue. And for the status code, if we get any some different status code, let's return invalid status code, and we can return the received status code also. Status code completion handler dot network error dot invalid status code, and we need the status code here. Let get the status code from the response. Status code. Now if we get any some invalid data, for the invalid data, invalid data, invalid data, and suppose if we get any the valid response dot success, and this is the response we got. And for other than that, yeah, here we no need to take, we no need to write the for the catch. So default it will give the error to us. So we can use that error. So now our uh, the network manager class is done. Let's go to the view. Yeah, this is the view and view model. So here view model, the view will the view will request the view model to get the data list of the products. So the view model, it will call the API. It will request that URL to the network manager, and the network manager will fetch the data from the server. It will return to the product view model. From the product view model, this data it will return to the view, and the view it will render the UI, and it will display the list of the products. So let's go to the product view model, and let's create an array. So this will be the publisher where list, and it's a list of products. Yeah, then here we can create a new function, get list of products. It will call the network manager dot, will request share dot the request absolute string. So let URL is equal to this URL. So let's name it as a absolute string, or the URL string. Just give to this, and here it will return the result. So here let's take the switch, the result, and we have the two cases. One is this success, and here we get the products. And another case, we get the error. For now, just printing the error. And for the products, so dispatch queue dot main dot async self dot, and let's use the weak self, so we can avoid the return cycle. Self dot list is equal to the products. Hmm. The view observable object where view model is equal to products the view model. We got there unknown attribute observable object. Yeah, product view model needs to confirm the observable object. So we need to go to the product view model, and here we need to conforms to observable object. Yeah, the error should go away. Yeah. So then next, take the uh, list of data here. The view model dot list. Here we get the product. So for now, take the text, and here I'm just displaying the product dot name just for now. And the product model should conform to the identifiable. So yeah, now let's go to the model and comma identifiable. So we have the ID, so we no need to create the another ID. Yeah, it will work. Error should go. Yeah, done. So now the view model, and we need to call the API on appear. So view model dot get list of products. Call will go to here, and here we are passing the URL. From here it will return the result, and it result contains the success or failure, and it will get the products, and from here the publish it is observable object, so then it will re-render the UI once you get the updated list from the view model. So let me run it and see. Yeah, we got the list of products. It's working fine, and just I want to refactor the network manager to make it as a generic, so that uh, we can use for any other type as well. So now it is tightly bind with the product model. So if we have some other APIs, so we need to create the separate request for each the model. So it's not a best practice. Let make it as some generic. You can have the decodable. we can use the decodable, and we will return the t, and we should add the type t dot type. So so from where we are calling the request, we can specify the type. For the type, it will parse the response and it will return that particular type t. Okay. So now, so here the type t. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, let's go to the view model, and here we can give the type as a product model dot self. Let's run the project. Yeah, it's working fine. Yeah. So now we can use for other type as well. For other decodable type, we can use this request. Okay. So then next, actually, I want to test this network manager, uh, like a unit test. I want to test this one. Do I am getting the proper on the request and the response, the expected request and the response. So so when I created the project, at the time I have checked the unit test. So default it was created the unit test and the UI test for it. So yeah, and default the default type for the iOS is like a internal. So to get this the public open and the internal uh, types, so we need to use as the at the rate testable, so it will uplift the access levels. So for the private, still we cannot able to access it, but for the internal public open types we can use it. Yeah. Function test 0. So whenever we are creating the function, so we need to uh, give a name as a test, and then the name of it. So by giving the test as before the function starting the for the function name, so it will create the diamond symbol, means we can able to test it. So just I want to fail this test, xct fail, yeah, to check whether the test is unit test is working or not. So yeah, the test is failed. So then we need to make this test to work. Just I removed it, and so we need to test the network manager. So here the network manager is tightly bound to this URL session dot shared. So we need to mark this URL session dot shared so that we will not call the API, means we will not get the actual data from the server. So we will mock it uh, with some like a some fake the mock URL session by you, and we will pass the expected response to it, and then we will get this response. We will get the response we will get this response, the data and the error not from the server, means not actual data. So we will mock it and we will send to this the completion handler, and the completion handler, it will validate the mocked, the stub data, and it will return the expected result too. So for that we need uh, we need to pass the URL session. Mm, so let's create session URL session. So we will use this session over here, session. Okay. So default we can do URL session dot shared. So we are passing the default value to it, and in the view model, so here, yeah. So here we are not passing the session over here. Defaultly in the function we have the default value. If we didn't pass, it will take the URL session dot shared. Then, so we need to mark the URL session. So let's create, by using the protocol we can achieve it. URL session. So let me create the protocol over here. URL session protocol. And we need to use over here URL session protocol, the default value. So extension URL session, and the URL session we will conforms to it, then it should work. Yeah. And for the URL session protocol, we don't have this data task method. So let's go to the URL session. So here, just grab that function. This one. So here, just remove that open. Yeah. Then the error should go. Yes. So now we can use this URL session protocol. So let's go to the unit testing over here. Let's create one class mock URL session, and it will conform to the URL session protocol. So it should implement this mock URL session. So we can we can pass this mock URL session to the network manager. Okay. So we are not actually we will not pass this URL session dot shared, but we will pass the mock URL session, and here we will return the completion handler. Okay, the expected completion handler from here, means we will pass it the mock data, the stub. You can call it as a stub data. So we can pass over this one. So func test mm, get all products. So here function get all products. So what we will do is here where let's stop over here. The video is getting long. Okay, so in another video just I will go through this. Yeah, let's run the production code. It should work fine. Yeah, it's production code is working fine. So just stopping here.